Welcome to the Reflection Show. My name is Ramsey Brazard. You never go to the mirror scripted. You always go unscripted. And I am grateful and thankful to have this amazing fashion designer on the show, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, the one and only Allure by Reia Janay. Reia! Reia, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm well.
I see your outfit. You're looking beautiful.
Thank you.
You're here on the Reflection Show, and you have a story to share with those who are watching.
I do.
Reia, tell everyone, what do you do, where you're from, and where did it all begin?
Yes. So I am a native of Arkansas. I currently reside in Atlanta. I am a fashion designer and illustrator. And yeah, pretty much everything started in small Little Rock, Arkansas, a small town, rural area. But I've always just had this passion for fashion, and nothing can stop me.
But fashion didn't even start there. There was a moment as a little girl, growing up in Little Rock, Arkansas. You grew up where, you know, your father dealt with substance abuse, and your mother was living a single mother life, but she invested in you. You know, you were in classrooms where you felt like you were being bullied according to your gift, and one day you won the sculpture award, and that led you into your mother investing into more art programs. Share the journey of you as a little girl and that relationship between you and your mother that has allowed your dream to become what it is.
Yes, so as you just stated, when I was a child, literally I would find magazines and cut little clothes out and draw dolls and fold them back. It was like a paper doll. And so my mom, she was noticing, she said, huh, this one's a little special. She may have something, yes. You know, let's see where this goes. So like I was telling you, one day she was at work. We didn't have a lot of money to put me into art classes, right. But so there was a flyer hanging in the break room, and it said, you know, win a scholarship for your child to be in art classes. So she said, you know, I'm gonna enter in this raffle, not really knowing what, you know, the future will hold, but she did it, and from there, you know, I won, or she won, and, you know, I was able to go into those classes, and very, very scary, because I had never had any professional training, yeah, or anything. It's just me sketching and drawing and coloring at home. So when I first went into the class, I was so intimidated. But then I had to kind of reason with myself and hear that voice inside of me, like, this is what you're here to do. Like, wow, this is your passion. Get out of your head and just get into your zone and go there with your art. And I did. And as you said, like, I won, and my sculpture was in the, you know, on display for 6 months, and this was my first class ever. So after that, my mom is like, whatever I have to do, I have to find money to, you know, keep nurturing, you know, her craft. So yeah.
Your mother sacrificed not only her dream, but she sacrificed her very financial. She was able to sacrifice her finances just for you. How does, when you reflect back on that, how does that make you feel?
Well, first of all, blessed to have a parent that will, I get emotional, a parent that will, you know, believe in you so much. Because there's so many times where you have a craft or you have a child that's passionate about something, and the parents will say no. You know, you're not going to be able to do that. Be a doctor, be a nurse, or something like that. So it's really a blessing to have a mother who understands, you know, craft and passion. Yeah. So, you know, it's amazing. And I named my first line after her. Her name's Robin, so my first line was Robin Eve, just after her, because I feel like without my mother, right, you know, fashion probably wouldn't have happened for me.
And growing up in Little Rock, we know that whenever you grow up country, of course, you're limited to a lot of things.
Yes.
But one thing you're not limited from is looking up at the sky outside and seeing the stars, yes, and knowing that you could reach for the stars. What was that moment like, if you could reflect back as a little girl? What was that moment like just between you and God, having that conversation of where you wanted to be in your future?
Those conversations were really, really deep. as I was telling you, when I was younger, I wasn't able to go outside. So I would have to find those safe spaces in my home that I can be creative. And, you know, by the grace of God, you know, I was able to stay focused because in the 90s, as I was telling you, it was really rough.
Gang wars.
Very, very rough, yeah. You know, there's a famous banging in Little Rock where you see all of the, you know, gangs, the Bloods and the Crip gangs, and it was very vicious, and it was a very, very hard time to grow up. And so I didn't really, until the 2000s, have like a normal childhood where you would go outside and play.
Yeah.
So for me, art was that outlet. That was my safe space. And, you know, just talking to God, saying, God, I don't know what this is, but just help me. Order my steps. Show me your vision.
That's amazing because you just reflect to me, you help me reflect on that your form of therapy could be this very purpose that God has given you to not just shift your life, but to shift somebody else's life.
Yes.
And leaving Little Rock was kind of tough for your mother and was kind of challenging for you because here you have a big dream, here you have a big goal, but trying to figure out those next steps were rough. But you jumped out on faith anyway. What was that like leaving Little Rock and going to school for fashion, to become a fashion designer?
Yeah. That. Wow. When you say it and when I say it and I hear it, it sounds very like, wow, you really did that. But I don't know. At the time, there was no real fear for me. Like, there was no fear for me because I just had this tunnel vision.
Wow, you were hungry.
Yeah, I was just like, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't care what I have to do it. Like, I literally moved in with a cousin that I was close to her, but not really.
Right.
But I did all of that just to go to fashion school. And it was so many like ups and downs and, you know, times where I was like, okay, this is not gonna happen for me.
That was wild because the first school you went to, you invested so much and then it shut down. Like, and then you had to get a real job, taking a bus, taking a train, trying to pay rent, trying to do all these things and still live the dream. Like, how did you make it out through that? Like, what was going through Reia Janay's mind?
So, number one, it had to be God. It had to be God because, first of all, I had never taken a train in my life. I had never taken public transit ever. So, you know, I'm there and, you know, actually that wasn't the first school. The first school I went to, I had a scholarship.
Right.
My scholarship ran out. So then I had to get a job. I was walking, TGI Fridays, that was my job. I was walking, I was taking the bus, and I was just thinking to myself, what am I doing? Like, is this really worth it? Like, look at me. I'm literally walking to work.
And it's funny because someone's watching this right now and they're trying to figure out, what am I doing? I'm walking to work every day or I'm going to work every day. It's almost like they hate their job and they feel like they're getting ready to forfeit on their dream. Man, tell me more.
Yeah, so like I said, it was very depressing. And for a while I went into a dark space like, okay, everything is horrible right now. Like, I'm trying to reach this goal, but it just seems so far away. It seems so far away. And literally every time I would try to quit, my scholarship ran out. Then Byrea, I went there and I was like, okay, things are turning up. Then it was, oh, the school shut down. And then my grandmother passed too. So I had to go back to Arkansas.
You got hit twice.
Yeah.
And going back to Arkansas, that was probably devastating in itself.
That was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do because I was dealing with death and I wanted to be there to support my family and I didn't want to seem selfish, but all I could think about is, how can I get back to Atlanta? How can I get back to fashion school? Like, what am I going to do now? And that's all I could think about. So
what was that motivation that pivoted your destiny from Little Rock back to Atlanta?
So I started making handmade jewelry and I just made it for myself. I wasn't really trying to sell like jewelry or anything like that. I just knew that I had a passion and this is what I love to do. People started asking me, oh, where'd you get the earrings? Oh, how much? I had never thought about the concept of actually selling my like pieces. That was foreign to me. So when people kept asking me, I said, I need to go back and perfect my craft. Like God's not done with me. And I know that what I'm doing it's okay.
Right.
But like, I know that there's more. If I could do this, when I have the skills and I have, you know, the education behind me,
Right.
like where can I go then? So that was really just the driving force, honestly.
And that led you into AIU, a school in Atlanta, and you graduated from. I mean,
Yes,
you know, girl,
I
that's an
did.
accomplishment in itself. And you met some incredible professors. You met your circle of influence changed. And after then, you got that dream job that led you to who you are today. Tell her, what was that journey like in the dream job working for $1 billion company?
So when I went to the school, I was very skeptical because, you know, I had come from kind of like an Ivy League, like fashion school prior.
Right.
So this was a smaller college.
Ooh, a humbling experience.
Yes, it was very humbling, and I was kind of like looking at myself, and my fiance had to kind of tell me like, it does not matter where you get your degree from. Like, do you hear yourself?
Wait, say that again. What did he tell you? It does not matter where you get your degree from. And it's so important that you have a support system that is a voice of reason to your ears.
Yes.
So that when you feel like you're getting a little too high, the form of humility is still the posture of your heart.
Yes.
So that voice is what allowed you to begin to have a different perspective
Correct.
of that school.
Yes, and you know, he was telling me like this school is giving you the opportunity to get your degree. Like, you know, no other school would accept your credits. There was a lot of like logistics and politics behind it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I had to stop myself and pause and say, am I really getting caught up on that, you know, my degree doesn't say Art Institute of Atlanta? Because I guess as a child, I really, like, I always dreamed of, like, going to Art Institute of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I was there, and it was in my hand, and then it just, I felt like I just dropped the ball with that. So for me, I was still a little bit devastated about having to leave Art Institute. But when I went to that school, it was so many amazing professors. The professors that will call you, hey, how are you? You didn't get your assignment in. I didn't see you in class. You know, I just want to check on you. I just want to make sure that you're okay. And I had never had that before.
And that's amazing because that teaches you the power of relationship and small circles.
Yes.
Because if you were at a bigger school, what if you would have been overlooked, right? You probably would have still been struggling today because you were striving more towards platform rather than purposeful relationship that can help you survive in an industry that is relationship driven.
Exactly.
I mean, now you served at the New York Fashion, the New York Fashion Show and stuff. What was that experience like, especially coming from Little Rock, your dream?
Yeah, so it's funny because I was only able to be a part of that because of someone that I met from Arkansas. And her name is Kato Mama Lou, and her story is, you know, amazing. She was a refugee that traveled over, and I can't remember how we met, maybe through mutual friends, but I was actually just an intern. I was just an intern there. And so I was just steaming clothes. I was just steaming clothes. I was sewing whatever she needed to me, but I didn't care.
Wow.
I didn't care. Like, I just wanted to be a part of fashion. And I did a lot of different things like that where I'm like, okay, I'm not getting paid. I'm not doing, like, I'm not really getting anything besides, like, you know, experience and things like that. And I said, I just had to keep humbling myself and saying, these, you know, experiences and opportunities, they're all going to, you know, it's going to be worth it in the end. That's what I had to keep telling myself. Even though I didn't feel that. I was thinking, how many, you know, free opportunities will I get? Like, when am I gonna actually start getting paid for doing this stuff?
Wow.
And it's crazy. Like, it didn't happen until probably like 2019 after I graduated. After I kind of had those credentials and I learned the business. And I guess I just wasn't ready. God wasn't ready for me to have these opportunities, because now it's just like one thing after another. And it's just, I was in my hotel yesterday, and I was just overlooking downtown, and I just was crying, and I was just like, it's crazy how your life can do a whole 360. Like,
girl, who you telling?
it's so crazy, and it's like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel sometimes.
Yeah.
And for, you know, just everybody, I just tell everybody, just do not give up. You never know what the future holds for you. You never know what's down the road for you.
Yeah.
You could literally be jobless. Like, I was jobless. I didn't have a car. I was living, I had just got out of like a toxic relationship. I was left with nothing but a mattress on the floor.
Wow.
And I didn't even know, like, how am I going to like get my next meal? How am I gonna get to my job? Like, I had no idea to go from like now, you know, my Shein project, you know, one of the biggest e-commerce international, you know, companies. Like,
and that's crazy because, you know, and that's just a great reflection that whatever, you may see someone a certain way, but you really don't know what they've been through.
Yes.
And that is the key thing. And that's what I love about when you and I had the conversation and we got into the conversation of just your journey and how authentic you are as a person, because what you see on camera is what you see right here. So whenever you all meet Reia Janay, okay, Allure by Reia Janay, what you see is what you get. And that's what I love about even country folk like us, you know, what you see is really what you get. You know, if that steak look good, that's what you're going to taste, because it's going to be good. Am I right?
That's right. That's right. I love it.
So now let's get into your company. What made you come with this name Allure by Reia Janay?
So literally I was trying to come up with something that I felt reflected me. And I was looking up the definition of allure, and it just really stood out because it's interesting. When you're, I guess, like a Black woman, there are certain characteristics or certain boxes that people put you in and say, okay, if you're a Black woman, this is how you're supposed to speak. This is how you're supposed to dress. This is how you're supposed to act. And I never felt that I, you know, fit into that box. I was always different. I was listening to, you know, eclectic music. I was always dressing different. I was always in a sense the black sheep. Like my sister would look at me, you know, I had horrible posture. I was just that, I was
Girl,
just
you were
odd.
just unique. You were different.
Just really odd. And so it feels good to finally sit in my quirkiness, finally sit in, you know, just me and just be unapologetic, you know, me. It just feels really, really good. And I know that there are a million other girls out there who are feeling like, I'm different, I don't fit in. But I think that me being different is what actually makes people want to, you know, listen to me. And what draws people to me, honestly.
And that's dope because your brand represents that.
It does.
Know, Allure represents that.
Yes.
You know, you may feel like that you don't fit in.
Yes.
It's okay to be unfit.
Yes.
You know, it's okay to pursue those things unapologetically and be who you are. So when they're wearing that, when women are wearing your clothes, you're walking with confidence. You know, you are the light in the room, even though the darkness may seem like it's overwhelming you. You are the light in the room. So you created a line, of course, with your mother, Robin's Eve, right?
Robin Eve,
Robin Eve, which that's beautiful. I mean, that sounds like
that's her name.
One of those unique flowers in a different country or something.
Yeah.
But there's also more to what you do with your brand.
Yes.
You got a new line coming out. Share with us the new product that you have coming out.
Yes, so there's a couple of things that I have going on. So my latest is my spring collection. I'm actually wearing one of those pieces now.
Yes.
so I'm so happy about that. That's my solo collection. And really, I just wanted to design something that made women feel confident, beautiful, and fearless.
Wow.
I wanted my clothes to, when she walks in the room, everyone turns to her and is like, wow, who is that?
Be like, hey, girl.
Right. But here's the thing with that. Oftentimes, women don't feel confident, but you don't know that. When you put on that cape, when you put on that mask, it gives you, it's like a Clark Kent thing.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wanted to design clothes that would do that for women. I may not be 100% confident, but when I put these clothes on, I am confident.
Say it again. When I put this Allure by Reia Janay on,
yes,
I am confident.
I am fearless. I am beautiful. And I am enough. I'm enough.
Did y'all see Rhea's hand? She said, I am enough.
Yes.
That means whatever's in you going to overflow. So whenever they see you rocking that outfit, you living in the overflow.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, yes.
So I have that project, and then I have my Shein collaboration, which is, like I was telling you, the international brand.
Yes.
And that, I'm just like, what?
Wow.
Like,
come on.
It still feels like,
surreal.
did that really happen?
Yeah.
And so we just dropped that on actually the 12th. So I'm super excited about that. But, you know, one of the things that is closest and dearest to my heart is my consulting business that I'm launching.
Yes.
And the consulting firm will help minorities, people in rural areas like I was, launch their brand. Because there's so many people out there who have a vision or they have a different style and they want to launch a brand, but they have no idea. Maybe they don't have 80,000 or 100,000 to go to fashion school. I want to be that source and bridge that gap for those people to be able to make their dreams come true. So that's my biggest and what's dearest to my heart.
And how do people get to your product?
Yeah, so my website, allurebyrea.com, and everything is there. You can book your consult with me. So you book a 30-minute consult. We speak one-on-one in detail about everything that you're trying to do, and we make it happen. And some people need me for the entire process.
Yes.
I'll walk you through the whole process, manufacturing, fabric selection, whatever you need. I'll be there. Or if you just need advice, I'm there.
And you know, that's one thing that I definitely would say about you, that you have the heart of a champion. And you have the heart of gold. And you know, here on the Reflection Show, we pray many blessings over your business and over the vision that has been, you know, leased to you while you're here on this beautiful earth. Reia, before we end the show, there is someone watching right now, looking in that mirror, and they're saying, Reia, I'm that little girl. I'm stuck at this job, or I'm stuck in my house, or I'm stuck in a relationship, or I'm stuck with a business idea, and I need words of reflection that's going to allow me to look at myself, to walk into your shoes, and reach that place of destiny. Looking at that mirror right there, what could you tell that very little Reia or that adult Reia? What words of encouragement could you share with them right now?
Well, first, I will just say, I want to say the saying that my fiance tells me, and it has helped me so much. Nothing is as good as it seems, and nothing is as bad as it seems. So what that means is, you may think that life is over. You may think that this is it for you, but it's not as bad as it seems. Like I told you, I was walking and just staying with a mattress on the floor. And look at me now. You have to have that drive, and you have to really want it and be dedicated and just say, you know what? Nothing is going to stop me. Nothing. And that's it. Just keep going and keep God. Stay prayed up. Stay prayed up.
Nothing is going to stop you. Nothing is going to stop Reia. You heard her here on The Reflection Show. This is Ramsey Rizard. And remember, your experience matters. Thank you so much for watching.